that open moment. Again, standing in possibility. Just open the tiniest corner of your powerful, fabulous mind. Look there for possibility, and that is what you'll find.
Oh, I love that.
There's the second verse of. I'm going to go ahead and finish it since I started it. Possibility waits there patiently for you to turn and see the endlessness of potential of all that is and what can be. And that was actually inspired by Mary's open moment story, and that's how I begin my talk show every Friday. And what we actually, my husband has a dream, and we are standing in. That was the whole reason I started the show. Was to share what we do and the steps we take, standing in possibility. What would we do, because he has a huge dream, what would we do if we really believed it was possible? What steps would we take if we really believed it's possible? And we're doing that, and things are happening. We're meeting some really good people, and things are falling into place, and it's amazing what happens when you're just willing to stand in. I know it's possible, even though I don't know the mechanics of it, even though I don't know exactly what I should be doing right now. I know that the possibility exists for this dream to happen for me, and we get closer and closer to it daily. So, I mean, that's I've been living in that for 11 years now. I am human, so I will say off and on, because there are times that I end up on 89.6, and it gets to be 89.6 becomes habit if you don't do anything to shift it. And so sometimes I have stayed there in worry and anxiety, for way longer than was necessary. And so, but now, with this moving forward in our lives deliberately, we are making it a deliberate practice. That's one of the reasons why I love the 1-minute method, because it helps me to stay focused on, what do I want? Staying focused on what am I paying? What am I paying my attention to? What am I buying with my attention? Am I paying my attention to what I want or to what's not going right?
Absolutely.
And it's my choice every time. So I love standing in possibility because it feels way better in possibility than it does in it's impossible. So why should I even bother trying?
Absolutely.
Because I've been in both places. So.
For me, it's the noticing is important, to notice that you've dropped into that 89.6. So because it happens sometimes insidious. Sometimes you don't even notice that you have really just gone down that slope, and to admit to yourself that yes, you're a human being, and that does happen, and that you
whoops,
you did it again. But that you have a choice, and I love what you said, Sandy, because you do. In every moment, you have a choice to shift out of that and know that you can go back to your dream and be open to possibilities. And what would I do at any point in time? So that's terrific. So we're moving on to some of the other areas, and I'll leave it up now for questions or comments from anyone we have here. Anybody else hit 5-star if you'd like to talk about your experiences in using a way to move up from 89.6, or just a question you may have. Anybody want to join us? Okay, looks like we're just going to keep moving on, talk about more things. Sandy, would you want to talk more about selecting dream? And then Mary had the 5-point test for your dream. Do you want to take that?
Yes. When I found, I'm not going to go into my whole story because it's very long, but I was living a life of domestic violence. when I discovered Mary Morrissey. I was living in Oregon and in a very abusive relationship. And I turned on my TV September 19th, 1999, 3:30 in the afternoon. It was a Sunday.
Wow, you remember the actual time. Wow.
Yeah, I will never forget it because that was the most important turning point in my life. That was actually, remember on the call the other night she talked about it takes 7 miles to turn to Queen Mary?
Yes.
that was when I turned on my TV just in time to hear her say, and I had no idea who she was. I had never seen this little teeny blonde woman before. I had no idea. I turned on my TV. I landed on Oregon Public Broadcasting just in time to hear this little teeny blonde woman say, "We all deserve to have our dreams come true." And I thought she was nuts. I thought, oh, look, a crazy person on Oregon Public Broadcasting. Because I had my own life as proof that she was not correct about that. I had my own life. Because what I knew from my own experience of my life, I was 34 at the time, was that I was worthless, that I was a piece of crap, that I would never amount to anything, that nobody would ever love me, that I was too ugly to be seen in public with any other person on the planet, that, all these things, all this ick. And that was where I lived my life from, was from those beliefs about myself.
Wow.
And so I heard Mary say we all deserve to have our dreams come true, and I thought she was insane. But I couldn't. I obviously was ready to hear what she had to say because I could not get myself to change the channel. And just a couple of minutes later, she said, she was quoting Lao Tse, and she said, "If you continue down the road you're on, you're going to end up where you're headed." And that really, I sat up straight. I can remember it. It was like I had a string in my back and somebody jerked me upright because I heard her say that. I heard it. And I saw where I was headed. Oh, my God, if I stay in this relationship or if I don't change something, I'm going to die at the hands of a man who constantly and repeatedly tells me that he loves me. But I immediately went to, she said what did she say? The magnetic, there's a magnetic pull of that frequency. I saw where I was headed, and the thought flashed across my mind that if I don't change something, I'm going to die. And then I immediately went to, because I had already left him 6 times in this relationship at this point. I had already left him 6 times. So my mind went to, but I've tried making U-turns. U-turns don't work. They just get me hurt worse. And so I immediately went into despair and apathy and giving up before even making an effort. But the next thing that Mary said was, if you just shift your direction a tiny bit, 1 degree, a fraction of a degree, a mile down the road, you're in a whole new place. And I could see what she meant and went, oh, wow, if I could, but I didn't know how, but that I was in the open moment at this point. What if I could? What if I did know how? And so it was a program called Building Your Dreams, which is based on her book, Building Your Field of Dreams. And I went on to listen and really hear everything that she said. It was amazing. It was an amazing 90 minutes.
Wow.
And the thing that she talked about those 5 points for moving into your dream. And at that, I had no idea how to dream. I did not have a clue because I had spent my entire life believing I didn't deserve to be happy. So I never learned how to dream. But I was willing. That's where it has to start. You have to be willing for your life to change in the first place.
Absolutely.
And so I listened to her, and I ordered her book. And I lived in her book for the next 18 months. But those 5 questions, so all I knew was I knew what I didn't want. I knew I didn't want to continue. I loved the man, but I didn't want to continue